There is not a single room that Mona Kawai enters where she does not become the center of attention. Dealing with this everlasting spotlight is but a fact of her daily life. Mona's absolute confidence in her own charms, however, is shaken when she meets Medaka Kuroiwa, a recent transfer student to her high school. Unlike all other classmates who constantly show interest and fawn over her, Medaka frowns every time they interact. Seeing his disinterest as something to be rectified, Mona pulls out all the stops in the hopes of winning Medaka over, only to be met with one stern face after another. Mona Kawai had never met a boy who could resist her charms. Unused to such treatment, she devotes her time trying to get his attention, even flashing her underwear at him. But this just makes him angry. When she trips, Medaka catches her, and she is shocked to realize she might actually be falling in love with him instead. Infuriated by this, she becomes determined to charm him, but accidentally soaks herself in water. Medaka gives her his shirt to cover her exposed bra, while Mona is entranced by his shirtless chest. The other boys confront him for being mean to Mona, causing Medaka to admit he is actually a monk in training forbidden from love. Far from disliking Mona, he actually has a crush on her, and his angry glares are actually him resisting lustful thoughts. Unaware of this, Mona remains determined to charm him, whilst the boys, who now know the truth, find the situation unbearably funny. During art class, Mona and Medaka are assigned to sketch each other. Mona notices their classmate Tsubomi keeps sneaking glances at her. Mona poses for the sketch, hoping to entice Medaka, only to be aroused by Medaka staring at her with such intensity. Later, she keeps noticing Tsubomi nearby. Fearing Tsubomi might be a love rival, she assumes Medaka likes smart girls like Tsubomi, so she dons glasses whilst also deliberately brushing her leg against Medaka under the table. She is shocked when Medaka glares at her before leaving. Mona starts following Tsubomi, trying to determine what makes her special, but only finds Tsubomi is a normal girl. Changing tactics, she decides to flirt with Medaka directly, but finds she cannot even say the word love around him. During selection for festival committee, Tsubomi and Mona are chosen as representatives. Mona cannot understand why Tsubomi seems happy to be working alongside a rival. Mona sees Tsubomi's phone and realizes she has hundreds of pictures of her, meaning Tsubomi was never interested in Medaka, it was Mona. Mona is horrified when Tsubomi reveals she has been watching Mona so closely she figured out she has a crush on Medaka, but not to worry, Tsubomi will help get her and Medaka together. Tsubomi tells Mona about their school's bridge of love. Anyone who crosses the glass bridge during the festival will fall in love. Mona considers seducing Medaka with an outfit, but Medaka walks in while she is a sexy bunny girl. Embarrassed but desperate to avoid Tsubomi misunderstanding, Mona pulls Medaka into a closet to hide. With their bodies pressed together, Mona becomes aroused. Tsubomi leaves and Mona is disappointed he avoided becoming aroused with prayer. Medaka admits she looks cute. Mona is sure he has finally fallen for her, only the next morning his angry glares are worse than before. During the festival, Mona and Medaka work in the bunny cafe, but he refuses to spend time with her until Tsubomi orders him to go advertise the cafe with Mona. Mona takes the opportunity to make him visit the festival with her, but everything goes wrong. In the haunted house, she gets her skirt stuck and flashes her underwear. At the crepe stall, a crow steals her crepe. At the music concert, she loses Medaka in the dark and flirts with the wrong guy. Mona has no idea what to do next, but suddenly realizes she and Medaka are stood at the entrance to the Bridge of Love. To fulfill the legend of the bridge, Mona needs to hold Medaka's hand, so she fakes a fall, hoping he will grab her hand. However, Medaka picks her up under her arms, embarrassing her. Tsubomi helps by asking Mona and Medaka to clear the cafe furniture together. Mona accidentally knocks over boxes on the bridge, so Medaka grabs her hand to pull her away. Medaka quickly claims this does not count as the festival already ended, but Mona considers it her victory. Unfortunately, Medaka seems unaffected the next day, while she cannot look at him without blushing. Secretly, Medaka only keeps his composure through prayer. Their whole class goes bowling, so Mona forces herself to sit next to him and steals his drink, hoping an indirect kiss will charm him. She is frustrated when Medaka resists, but only just. The boys Shu and Yuzuru and Tsubomi all tell Medaka that avoiding love is no excuse to hurt Mona's feelings, and he needs to be nicer to her. Realizing they are right, Medaka offers to share his textbook when Mona forgets her own. Mona is so happy Tsubomi gets a photo of her smiling that is her favorite one yet. Despite making progress, Mona notices Medaka will still glare at her for certain things. E.g., sharing an umbrella in the rain is fine, but holding hands is forbidden. She thus makes it her mission to discover all the things she can and can't do. Mona is confronted by first-year basketball star Asahi, who demands to know if she is dating Medaka, which Mona denies. Mona suspects Asahi must have a crush on Medaka. Mona learns Asahi is a minor celebrity in basketball and is popular despite being rather bossy. And yet around Medaka she panics, blushes, and collapses, accidentally flashing her underwear. Mona confirms Asahi is in full-blown love with Medaka, making her a serious rival. Mona attempts to impress Medaka with her own basketball skills. As Medaka is a poor player, she tries to teach him how to throw the ball, making sure to emphasize her body as she does so. Asahi interrupts and accuses her of liking Medaka after all. She then insists on showing Medaka how to do a plank for muscle strengthening. Unaware this lets Medaka see down her shirt. Mona responds by planking too, overstimulating Medaka, who flees in embarrassment. Both girls are furious at each other and embarrassed that they definitely went too far. Having fled home in the rain, Medaka catches a cold and misses school. Since Medaka lives alone, both Mona and Asahi separately decide to visit him, only to encounter each other on the way. Medaka panics to find both girls in his apartment, competing to take care of him and competing to get his attention with sexy cosplay. Mona as a nurse and Asahi as a doctor. Amidst the chaos, Medaka manages to fall asleep, giving the girls a chance to talk. Asahi admits she wants a normal relationship with Medaka, but becomes embarrassed and leaves to buy drinks. Medaka unexpectedly hugs Mona in his sleep. Mona is tempted to kiss him but quickly stops herself just as Asahi returns. Confused, Mona blurts out the truth, that she only wants Medaka to fall for her because he is the only one who shows no interest in her. Asahi realizes Mona is in love with Medaka, but is in denial about it. At school, Mona is confused that Asahi now openly talks to her as if they were friends. Tsubomi stresses about what this means for their rivalry. Medaka returns to school, but Mona blushes every time she sees him. When she faints, Medaka takes her to the nurse. As it turns out, she caught his fever. Mona desperately convinces herself blushing was just caused by the fever. Shu pranks Medaka by changing his phone's screensaver to a bikini girl. Meanwhile, Tsubomi sends Medaka a picture of Mona staring longingly at him. Mona is horrified Medaka might get the wrong idea and rushes to grab his phone, accidentally seeing the bikini picture. Medaka fears she thinks he is a pervert, when really Mona is upset that he does look lustfully at girls, but not at her. She sends him a selfie hoping he will secretly keep it, but he deletes it. Refusing to give up, she plans a Halloween party for the class, planning to give Medaka a picture of herself in costume. Everyone goes costume shopping, including Asahi. Mona doesn't worry about Asahi finding a good costume due to her terrible fashion sense, and ignores her to search for her own costume. Meanwhile, Asahi receives help from her best friend Minami, who is much more stylish. Mona spies on Medaka and picks a costume that seemed to draw his attention the most. Tsubomi ends up as a fairy, Asahi as a goth, and Mona as a mummy, using as few bandages as possible. Unfortunately, Medaka is too embarrassed to look at her, as it turns out he had liked another costume next to the mummy one. Mona quickly chooses another costume, determined to make him look at her at the party. Mona attends the party in the actual costume Medaka liked, a witch. Tsubomi switches from a fairy to a ghost. Mona's dress comes unzipped, so she asks Tsubomi to fix it, unaware it is Medaka in an identical ghost costume. Panicking, Medaka tries to fix the zip quickly, only for Mona to angrily discover him anyway. To get her